So this is part 2 of my afternoon with Maggie, and I'm going to pick her brains now. Maggie McMillan, by the way, that's her name if you missed part 1. Go onto her Instagram, follow her there because it's fabulous. And today, the second part I'm going to talk to her is about styling tips, because Grace and I get asked a lot of styling tips, and we do our best, but we've now got the expert. So, the first question I'm going to ask you is, am I wrong to say that older people still need help with their style?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think most of us need help with our style at some point. And I think what happens as we get older is our lives change quite often, and our shape quite often changes, and our confidence might dip a bit. And so I think that absolutely older women do need help with their style, and I think it's quite understandable that they do. Lots of change going on.
Yeah, do you think that we get stuck in thinking of ourselves at a certain age and sort of not moving with the times?
Well, I think it's interesting.
The things you enjoyed to wear when you were 30.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? There are so many influences. Who do we dress for? Who influences? I know, my children, when my daughters were living at home, there were some things I just wouldn't dare wear. Before I went to parents' night, I'd get a call to say, for goodness sake, Mummy, just wear what everybody else wears, which would be some sort of jeans and a pie crust blouse at the time, which of course I never would wear. Or my daughter's favourite expression was, Mummy, dress your age, not your shoe size.
So dress your age, not your shoe size. I love that.
Which I think is, there are all these things about who do we dress for, but I think we do lose, quite often we do lose our way.
Yeah.
And we are, there's a lot of emphasis on being age appropriate. And I think it's quite a sort of questionable thing, age appropriate, because of course taste varies.
Yes.
And a lot of what we wear is about taste.
Yeah.
So I would always say about age appropriateness, I think the most important thing is that something that you wear fits you well and highlights the best bits of your body.
Okay.
And of course we have to be honest though about what are our best bits.
Yes, that is a difficult, isn't it? Because again, you may think back to what your best bits were when you were younger, and you still sort of look at them through rose-tinted spectacles.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think many women look at their bodies through rose-coloured spectacles.
Okay, so they're terribly critical, and we're not good at taking compliments. So.
No, unbelievably. I do this thing called a body map, for which women keep their clothes on, and I make a map of their bodies, and then we look at the various angles and the shapes. I would say 85% of the women, when we stand back and I say, what do you think? I thought it was bigger than that. And then I do a thing about which parts of your body do you like best, and I would say 85% of women will say, I don't know, I've never really thought about it. I don't really like any of it. And then when I say, which parts of your body do you like?
We've got a boat going past. Don't worry.
A few revellers.
Yes, we're just a few revellers.
A few revellers on a boat.
Beautiful day, isn't it? So why not? Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
when I say to them, which parts of your body do you like least? I could be there all day. But I work with men as well as women. And I have to say, in the many years I've been doing this, it's very rarely that I ask a man which parts of his body he likes best, and he can't come up with an answer.
Oh, really?
It's really interesting. But women, we're so self-deprecating about our bodies. But the best bits of our bodies do change over the years. And I think, we have to be kind of objective. And we just have to be objective about, for example, my arms are nowhere near what they used to be like. So when I dress, I kind of think about covering them up a bit, but it's not rocket science.
No, it's not. But then on the other hand, I do say to people, look, if you like it and you feel
good in it,
then go for it. I mean, I had this thing, I wrote this post recently, and it all started with my daughter. One of my daughters came home and was wearing a pair of dungarees, and I went, I love dungarees. I love dungarees. She said, really, Mum? And I said, yeah, I used to wear them a lot. And she said she loved them, and she loved them for the same reasons I love them. The fact that they are jeans for all intents and purposes, but they don't come in at the waist, or you can belt them if you want to. They're forgiving. They're just sort of loose. And
they are wonderful. You see, I've got a yen for dungarees,
and so so my daughter found this pair for me from Toast, a cream pair. So they weren't they were a bit more elegant. But I mean, and I don't look fantastic in them. It doesn't show my figure off, no, but I love them.
I think that if you love it and it makes you feel good.
Yeah, I feel sort of land girl, you know. I just feel, I'm dying for youngish.
I'm dying for a pair of dungarees. I mean, I think there are very few no-nos. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you must always dress to highlight your best bits, and if you don't like your arms, you know, never wear anything sleeveless.
No, but I'm wearing sleeveless now, you see, and I wouldn't.
But you know, but it's fine. But if it makes you feel good, then you will be more confident. People will react to you more confidently. One of my only real no-nos is, so she very carefully, cleavage.
Oh, is that
cleavage? I think it's like builder's bottom. I just think you have to be so careful as you get older about cleavage, and that is probably my only real no-no. I think,
but I've never had great boobs. I mean, you know, they're there and they work very well, and you know, they're fine. But I know women that have wonderful cleavages and continue to.
I think you can show off your boobs brilliantly without having that horrible, like, you know, that line of cleavage, which I think is a bit unseemly. But you know, that's just my view. And it's taste, and it's just.
Well, it's my view too, but I think it's mine is envy because I don't have to. I'd have to sort of, you know, really.
But it is about, and also the most important thing about what you wear is that it reflects who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I dress a lot of people for very important events, and it could be public appearances, or it could be interviews, things like that, and special occasions. And it's so important. I can make anybody look great. I always say that. Believe me, sometimes I've had to. But if you're not comfortable in the clothes you're wearing and they don't reflect who you are, it will stand out a mile, and it just won't work.
But do you think that people should experiment a bit? Because I mean, I've got a friend who she moved down from London about 4 or 5 years ago, and brought with her, you know, her wardrobe, which was predominantly black. And she's in her 60s, and I constantly saying to her, I mean, it makes me laugh so much when occasionally as she turns up in something white, I say, gosh, it must be really hot. Because you know, I mean, then I know that we've got a heat wave on when she's wearing white, but she wears black. Okay, and the other day I just said to her, or she said to me, oh, I love you, you're always wearing colour. I can't, but I persuaded her to, and now she's really enjoying it. Doesn't colour, I mean, people
colour makes such a difference.
I mean, look at us sitting here, you know, I mean, we obviously are fans, but it does.
I think colour makes such a difference, and I think that in terms of experimenting, I think my sort of advice would be, if you have a very special occasion coming up and you need to dress for that special occasion, I think you have to put an extra amount of thought, and I would probably say, don't jump too far outside your comfort zone for that occasion if it's very special. But on a day-to-day basis, I think, and my advice to my clients is, if you're in a shop and you try something on and you look in the mirror and you think, oh no, it's not me, just kind of give yourself a couple of minutes, wander around the changing room, and then take another look at yourself. And quite often I think it will grow on you. It will grow on you. It's just that you're not used to seeing yourself. And if you don't like it, think, well, why don't I like it? What is it about it that I don't like? Is it the length? Is it the sleeve? You know, and or can I change it? Can I stick a belt on it? Or I'm not that keen on the neckline, but if you're not that keen on the neckline, oh, I've got some gorgeous jewellery at home. Could I use that?
Yes.
And
I often find that people on holiday, when I've gone on holiday and friends joined us or whatever, we often find that people, that's the moment that they jump out of their box. And then you can say to them, that looks absolutely fabulous on you. Why don't you wear more things like that back, you know, home? And they will. some of them will be brave and do it, but there is that thing. I don't know what it is, whether it's because they're away from their home environment and so there aren't so many people that they know that they think might judge them.
I think it's possibly that. I'm sure it's that. But I also think holidays are a fantastic time for buying accessories.
Yes.
And I'm a great believer in changing an outfit totally with a pair of earrings or a piece of jewellery. And, sometimes clients will say to me, oh, I can't possibly, sometimes people say, I can't wear black. I can never wear black. Well, actually, you could wear black on your bottom half.
Yeah.
But, it's probably not right. Or I can't wear red. Let's say red. I can't possibly wear red. Well, it's what you wear that reflects off your face. And you can always deflect attention away from it by wearing a scarf.
That's right, a scarf or a bit of
or a piece of jewellery,
Exactly. Nowadays you can get wonderful jewellery.
Oh, amazing.
But
amazing.
I love your earrings. For
we were discussing these on the way here,
Yeah.
and earrings are one of my things, and it helps that I have short hair. But I think it's worth experimenting.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier on about going shopping with a friend and saying sometimes it's not, thank goodness, because I wouldn't have a job, but it's not always the best idea sometimes, because your friends are used to seeing you in the same way that you've been dressing for years and years. And if you just want a bit of a change and you put something on and they think, it's not you. It's not you.
No, I know. But even professional people, like we had somebody who wrote in and said that they've grown their hair during lockdown, and a lot of their friends have said, oh, it's lovely that it looks lovely longer. One friend said, actually, when you're going to get it chopped off, and that threw her, and she said, what should I do? And my advice to her was, without having seen her hair or anything, was don't go back to your hairdresser because he's used to you in a certain way. Find somebody who has your length of hair now, your current length of hair, and you like their style, and ask about their hairdresser, and go and just have, even if you just have a styling appointment with them and ask them, because sometimes a fresh set of eyes.
I think so, and this is why sometimes it's great to have someone new looking in your wardrobe, because quite often I will say to a client, have you ever tried wearing that with that? And I can tell they're looking at me thinking, are you completely stop staring mad? And then they put it on and then they go, oh, actually, and it's a new set of eyes. So maybe a different friend who doesn't know you so well or who doesn't usually shop with you is a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Well. So Maggie, you do these styling sessions, you do them virtually, don't you?
I do them virtually on Zoom at the moment, but before Corona, obviously I did them in real life.
So I'll put your email address, if I may, on the post, so that people can come in, can write to you and arrange that. Because you, the wonderful thing about Maggie is, because you're not in her store where she's selling a brand, she hasn't got any affiliation to any brand. She's just going to choose right for you. It's like I always say it's like going to a makeup artist who hasn't, rather than going to the Lancôme counter, because they're going to sell you Lancôme, obviously, whereas if you go to a makeup artist, she's going to say, actually, for you, the Estee Lauder foundation would look better, or...
I think so. I think that's so important, because we all mix and match in our wardrobes. So, it's always really important to me. I once went shopping with somebody who had a budget of £50. This was many years ago, and this girl was a DJ, and she had been given a session with me as a gift, and then we went shopping, and I said, I can just show you what might suit you. And I have to say, to be honest, we didn't leave Primark, and she came out of Primark. I can't tell you, I was picking up things for £7 and saying, oh, those are really expensive, but she came out with a wardrobe that was right for her. And saw her through at that point in time. And I have so many people will, mix and match charity shop with high street with an investment piece. And as long as you, when people are shopping, I've got these, I call it Maggie's mantras, totally bossy. And I always say, whenever you're shopping and buying new things, whenever you buy something new, you need to be able to think of 3 things in your wardrobe that you can wear it with. You need to be able to think of 3 occasions on which you can wear it, because we can no longer just do a one occasion and
No,
put it in the back of the wardrobe. And you need to love it. Never think, oh, it'll do. It's all right, it'll do.
Yeah.
One of my friends used to say, it'll do for the school queue.
Oh. So what did Marie Kondo say? It's got to sparkle, make you sparkle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that a little white vest would make you sparkle.
No, but
you would love it and really like it. And then the other thing I say is, every time you put something into your wardrobe,
you've got to take.
try and take it. It doesn't have to be the same thing.
No, I know, but that is such a hard thing to do.
I have to, because I don't have enough space.
I was given a tip once by a model from years past, Marie Helvin. Do you remember her?
Yes.
Very beautiful Marie Helvin. And she once said that she often bought her, she loved cardigans, she bought them from Marks and Spencer's, and then went to John Lewis and bought some lovely buttons and changed the buttons.
Absolutely.
And she had this cardigan on, and it had all different there was an anchor, and there was a little dog, and there was all sorts, but they're all fun. And it turned this cardigan from being sort of just a black cardigan into something really special.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And she said she'll change them for Diamante and have an evening cardigan. And that's the thing, you can customise things
more than you think. I've a couple of clients recently had little ordinary, last season, little round neck sweaters, and they just put a little frill of lace round the neck, and then another little frill of lace round the cuff, having seen that in a shop somewhere, and it completely changed them.
You can buy, I've got one, I bought one of these bears, which is literally it's a shirt front.
The bib, I love them.
Aren't they wonderful?
They're fantastic.
Yeah,
especially for women of a certain age, you get to be hot.
Yeah, and also if you're wearing a fitted sweater and you
also,
don't want all that sleeve business, and you're all ruched up and
Well, I think there's lots of bits and pieces out there, and dare I say it, shoulder pads.
Oh, they're coming back.
Well, I think if you're someone who has quite big hips and very narrow shoulders, sometimes it's useful to create a little bit of balance. And if you're trying to draw attention to up here rather than whatever's going on down there, the shoulder pads, honestly, and those spongy ones, those spongy ones can make such a difference.
Yeah, I can imagine, to a jacket or something.
Or somebody who's got really quite big boobs and wants to sort of balance them out a bit. A couple of foamy shoulder pads.
I think I need to take Maggie now into my wardrobe, and I'd be too embarrassed. I'd be too embarrassed.
People say that, and I love it. The more there is, and the more mixed up it is, the more.
I'm a terrible. Your 3 tips mantra. I've got. It's like having something on your fridge door, isn't it? I've got to think about that because I do tend to just see something and think I just love it. I love the colour.
But when you see something that you love, that's the. Oh, the other thing is, if you like things like basics, like trousers and things like that. If you find a pair of trousers that you love, and buy them in different colours if you can afford to, because you won't be able to find them again.
No, I know. Or buy a couple, if you can, buy a couple of pairs, because then put one away, and then
absolutely.
and then when I'm good at that bit. It's the other bit.
Good at buying more than
one. Definitely. I could sit here all afternoon talking to Maggie and getting style tips, but honestly, you can see where Maggie's coming from. She's got great tips. She's really in tune with all of us older women and what we might like to step out of our comfort zone and just be a bit more daring and adventurous. Now's the time, come on.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Anyway, thanks for listening, and thank you, Maggie, for...
It's been my pleasure. What a wonderful place to come
and
do this. We are truly blessed.
I'm sorry if there were parts you couldn't actually hear, but we've got boats going past and people having a jolly time.
And now I'm going to go and look online for a pair of dungarees.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Come on, Maggie. We'll march that nicely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Bye.